got a hard time when I drink water.
Right?
I mean, I drink a lot of water and lemon.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the October 5th work session of Laurel Board. I'd like to call this meeting to order. Ms. Conrad, will you take roll call of the members?
Here.
Here. Mr. Hammerstein.
Here.
Mr. Kirkwood.
Here.
Mr. McGee.
Here.
Mr. Manley.
He's online.
Online. Mr. Parker.
Online.
And Mr. Redford.
Here. Recognition of guests. Thank you, everyone, for coming out. Next week, we will be doing the recognition of meetings of our regular board meeting and executive session from September 14th. We'll then move to our
presentations for Pride and Promise. Mr. Rich, would you like to?
So it's the middle school star chosen to recognize the Laurel School Police, I believe. Is that accurate?
Also next week, well, number 3, report from standing committees. So, Joe. I'm sorry. Oh, no.
Sorry.
Joe.
Transportation Department, September, we had a meeting about bus evacuations, and we did our bus evacuation on September 20th of 22. And every year we try to go over proper procedures before we go and try and do them with the kids. Give as much information as we possibly can. So, everyone, we're working on the green school vans, try to make them a little bit more presentable and reliable until we get our new ones. I got one of them in the garage right now, pretty well 4 parts. I had a breakdown the other day. I had a spring break on a 94. And we had a 7-point spring. Never had a spring break on one of my buses ever. And just going around the bend and one left loose.
Shackle or spring?
Just one spring on the back. So all there is one leaf on it. And it's let loose. Yeah. I'm gonna have another bus with engine lights and a buzzer going off, and currently talking with Bluebird to try to get it
Any questions for Joe? Okay, Ed?
We replaced 2 motors on the elementary univents this past month. Currently, we're replacing filters at the elementary and getting ready for winter time. We replaced the steps on the bench shell. We paint builds for practices and games. We had 2 garbage disposals with the high school go down almost at the same time. Sometimes it gets crazy in the cafeteria. We have a lot of new furniture coming in. We've been trying to shuffle around the school. Last month, Mark and I spent the evening with Green Scott Township for a building walkthrough with the fire department. A lot of new members. It's been several years since we've had a walkthrough. They had a lot of members, and I appreciate Mark spending his evening with us. But it was a great evening. We went through the basements, every crawl space, every place possible. But it was an informative night for them guys.
Any recommendations from them?
They made a few. They did. Just asking about different doors and different ways to we have the knock boxes outside those buildings that they have access to. And the layout of the building inside there and emergency calling list. And they threw a couple of good things out. We should probably keep the knock boxes.
Okay.
Trying to get everything together and add stuff to their knock boxes.
Okay. Anything else? Any questions for Ed?
This might be Fred or whoever wants to answer it. We only have 2 handicap spaces out of the stadium, which I never cared about until I need to use one. And people are parking there that doesn't have placards. So the number needs to be more. We know how many senior citizens attend stuff at the stadium. So I don't know what we need to do and how we enforce people. You don't have a placard or a tag that says you're handicapped? How do we address that problem? Because out front we have several handicapped, as we all know. But same thing's going on, people parking there when things are in the school that don't have the placards. And that's wrong. Other places, you get a fine of $150. I don't know what we can do, but,
We have
Right.
our police force can cite like any other police force.
okay, I thought so, but we need, I mean, you're only gonna have to hand out like 2 tickets. It'll be all over Facebook. And people will start to do what they're supposed to do, not park.
Is that for a game night, Jeff, or is that just any day in particular?
Just like today for the junior high, there's only 2 spaces, is what I'm saying. There need to be more out there. And today, there was one with a placard and one with nothing.
Is there a state requirement based on,
When we, upgraded the, concession stand at that time, we put the, spaces in that was required at that.
What was required of that?
Yes, 2,
Exactly, it's been quite a few years, 12, 14 years.
but you can put more. I thought that, I mean, that's minimum.
I am kind of surprised that it's only 2.
That's all it says.
Because I mean, you know, I remember when I played football, my grandparents they needed those stickers. You know, they came to see us play and everything like that. So I mean, I don't know if that can be looked into. I'm with you, Jeff.
I guess the difference is, for varsity football games, we park cars differently.
Yes, I understand.
And but like you're saying, like junior high, the track events like that, we park them. We can look at putting, again, so for events like that, we can look at putting temporary signs up and marking things.
Okay.
It's different during school day when we have teachers coming in, students coming in.
Oh.
We have events. So we can look at having some signs made for students.
And then to enforce out front when events are at the school, people not parking that shouldn't be parking there. I mean, like I say,
I'll talk to you about that.
okay, all right. I mean, I don't want to ticket everybody. You only got to put 2 out there, and it'll be all over Facebook. How bad we are.
Jeff, to answer your question, it's a sliding scale. 26 to 50, you need 2. 51 to 75, you need 3. 76 to 100, you need 4. 101 to 150, you need 5, et cetera.
That's parking spaces. That was,
Mm-hmm. Yes.
I'm done.
So
I
roughly,
get what you're saying, but we need more.
right,
Okay.
right. So
If it's
compliance,
temporary,
you can always exceed compliance, you can never go under.
yeah, if they have to be temporary, like you're saying, then that's what we need.
yeah, but if we're gonna look at it, we wanna make sure, number one, are we in compliance?
Right.
And then number 2, what's the appropriate number we need for the community?
Thank you.
I think that's along those lines for the youth. Talked about that before, the youth,
Yes,
for the temporary.
yes, yeah, because they, for the varsity, they do park them differently. I get that. I know that. Yeah, correct. Just like tonight, one had a placard, one didn't.
Okay, any other questions for Ed? Okay, cool.
So far this year, we've had a lot of new enrollment requiring some special programming and added district placement, so that's kept me busy. At the elementary, working with Mrs. Stewart, our IST teacher, and Mrs. Laurel on our data meeting. We've assigned our 4 Kelly staff that we have down there to our, what we call our bubble kids, or the intervention group that we're targeting. IST has started, we started the year off with IST with last year's data. We've now got our new diagnostics, and so those interventions are starting for the kids that have been identified with deaf and touch. Our school-wide is very, very strong at the elementary. We're out with our green cards, and we're tracking our behavior problems. Meetings held, there's been, we have what they're called TSS workers wraparounds. When they're in our buildings, I have been monitoring and setting expectations for those agencies, just so that we're all working together and collaborating for students to have those needs in our building. So I had a meeting this year with them and set out some expectations for them to try to sort of get on the same page and work together with students and those services.
Yeah, any questions? Nicole? Thank you very much. Dan?
Like Nicole said, we did our diagnostic testing early September, so, we've identified all of our Title I intervention students. Those groups are up and running, targeted some specific skills. That's what we're running in on that this year. We moved into our benchmark testing that's currently underway. We'll meet again with our data teams after those results come in, see if we can make any adjustments to our public kids, our intervention kids who we're targeting. The breadbasket program that we do every year is up and running. Have about 25 kids on this year. So that number fluctuates.
What is that?
So every Friday, we send home that's something we've done for a while. Grandparents breakfast this year, unfortunately, I was sick, I wasn't able to attend, but I know Columbus was there, but we had over 100 more people attend this year than last year. I'm assuming as things are dying off, with people more have to come to this thing, so. Still was a good event, it's great, and I know she got a lot of good pictures this year. And then we also had our picture day at the elementary, been pretty busy. And then the last thing, for the month, we just recently sent out our quarter one progress reports, so we know their.
Any questions? Dan? Okay. Thank you, Dan. Mark?
I don't think we guys heard, we do our benchmark testing, diagnostic testing, also at the high school. So September was a busy testing month, trying to get our students, see where they're coming in at, seeing how we can go about helping them moving forward. We also got our first report done, so we had our last ISD meeting on Monday, so looking at students who need intervention, students who are behind, students who are more than 1 year behind, especially in mathematics. Kind of reflective of where that was with our PSA and our testing. So we have a good plan moving forward of how we're going to address that with our staff. Second thing, busy getting kids enrolled into AP testing. Last year we tried something different with AP testing. Instead of the district paying half, we offered the students who got a 3 or better to have their money refunded. And fortunately, we ended up refunding a lot of money, over $2,000 to students who got 3s or better. So we think it was pretty good, pretty successful plan. We're going to continue that this year. We added 2 more college and high school courses through Robert Morris. We have a new partnership with Robert Morris. One is a economics course, and the other one is a healthcare. It's not so much a course as it is a healthcare exploratory. So we'll go down there a couple of times and look at the different healthcare fields, whether it be nuclear medicine, nursing, and everything else that goes into being a healthcare provider. So pretty excited about that. Last Thursday and Friday, I was able to attend a regional training for our new science standards. I'm part of the IU team that's going to work with all of the schools in the IU on how we're going to put together the training the teachers and then they're going to get for these new standards will be rolled out here in a couple of years. So, pretty good training, actually. Something the state put together. I was actually surprised. Last thing, I completed 27 teacher observations of the school year, going through the classrooms, making sure that we had a good baseline for what we're looking for with our walkthroughs and with our other SPMs and other data for our teachers.
Anything else for Mark? Any questions? Thanks, Mark. Nicole?
So one of the things I focused on in September was the attendance rate. Elementary, we're averaging 97% of kids in attendance, and high school's at 94%. I've targeted the students that have been missing quite a bit, sending out some letters, making phone calls. If they've missed a couple days in a row, 3 to 4, I'll call home just to check on them, just to see how things are going, if there's anything they need. And I've also set up 3 different, possibly 4, counting tomorrow, student attendance improvement meetings. Meet with the parents on how to keep their student in school. Mr. Sorley mentioned a grandparent breakfast. We served 333 people that came through the doors. And it was a nice steady rate that came through. My colleagues mentioned pictures and the data testing. So I think you know that we've had the data testing and benchmark testing. Last week was the FFA Ag Encounter over at the fairgrounds. Our 4th graders went on to the second day of it, but our Laurel FFA presented to 4th graders in all of the school districts that attended the role beef cattle play in the food industry. They talked about the parts that cow and what they eat. I went and followed up with the students that were presenting, and they were amazed to see that there were students from local school districts that have never personally seen a cow. And it both blew their minds. It was pretty interesting to have this conversation with them. And once again, our progress reports went out on the 29th in both buildings.
How many other schools attended?
I don't.
Every kind of school.
Okay.
What our target numbers look like? I know they used to be pretty high, but I haven't.
They're a little lower. I've only issued a couple detentions for it. If they get 3 detentions, they get a warning. If they get 4, then, I'm sorry, if they're late 3 times, they get a warning. they're tardy 4, then they are issued a detention. So, we've been pretty good at making sure that, and make sure that the doors are locked on time and that they have to go through the office. If they try to sneak through without it, Mrs. Snow and I have, and, Mrs. Bethel and I have, caught them and issued them a card.
I was just curious, I was late to work this morning, this is about for 8, and I come by, and there's like 6 cars in the parking lot. I'm thinking, these kids gotta come flying here, gangbusters at the last minute. Of course, I didn't see my grandson's car here either, so,
Yeah, and it's usually the ones that are driving are the seniors.
yeah.
You know exactly.
Down to the minute.
It takes to get from point A to point B, and if there's any delays,
Yeah,
there's no extra time.
But I can for morning. Yeah.
That's horrendous.
Oh, I heard it.
So wait, you started that off by saying you were tardy? Okay.
Joe, you're gonna have to give your bus drivers lessons how to drive on that damn road now? That's gonna be horrendous once they get some trucks rolling them tracks.
We still don't know what they're doing.
Oh, they don't have the clue. They can't even move the traffic.
They're gonna tar and chip it,
That's
right?
what I thought.
Yeah,
That's my bet.
I agree.
I don't understand what they did though.
They tried to fix where it was,
Mostly all the past looked like heavy truck fight, divoted.
Yes.
Right.
Probably milled that out, filled it with asphalt, now they're gonna tar and chip it. Because if they don't, when they tar and chip over them potholes, the road's still all, you gotta go down Rogers Road, it's a total mess, they tar and chip it, it's probably worse now than what it was before they tar and chipped it.
yeah, doing it this time of year though, most of it's not gonna stick, it's gonna. Okay.
It caused all the buses to be late
Oh,
yesterday.
they got this follow me truck.
Yesterday at 3:00, we had a ditch to crawl, we were getting out of here, they had it milled out right across the school.
They're on the ball. They didn't see the school probably. They missed that one.
Any additional questions for Nicole? No? Thank you, Nicole. Rob?
Yeah, it's been a busy start to the school year. State reporting has dominated the majority of my time. That included working with Mrs. Nicholson, who has really picked up Tim's. I was telling Mrs. Conrad earlier today that Mrs. Nicholson has done a really nice job wrapping her head around it. Those are some complex problem solving, and she's doing a really good job. That being said, we got our child accounting submitted, which was an important one, but our most important uploads, those are our 2 most important, the end of the year for child accounting purposes, and our October 1st uploads. They're significantly important. That deals with our accounts, and sets the base for the state reporting, for our ADM, how we get paid, how, our assessments, pre-code labels, we have data populated. Everything is in there right now, so we have a couple more things to work through, but the good news is our data is starting to really get clean. And that hadn't been the case when I first arrived here, so we're getting there. I mean, we would have hundreds and hundreds, sometimes thousands of errors. Now we're down into, a handful, but they're complex errors, but we're getting much better at our data. Wanted to just speak to our internet speeds, just so you guys know how to speak to it, in case someone says, wow, our internet isn't very fast. We have hodgepodge equipment, and we're aware of that. Some of our switches are older. Some of our wiring infrastructure is older as well. And we can't make it go any faster than the equipment we have. So I just wanted to make certain that you guys knew how to speak to that in case someone asked. Internet at the football stadium. This is more of another FYI. We were asked about hooking up the cameras, the huddle cam, but we do not have adequate internet over. Actually, we don't have any internet over there right now. So we have explored other options. They have been presented to Mr. Rich, Mr. Frenzel. I don't know how we're going to go, what decisions are going to be made, but if we want to work with huddle or add additional security cameras, wireless access points to have internet over there, that's something that would need to be considered. So it's more of an FYI so you guys aren't blindsided.
What kind of bandwidth?
There's nothing there right now.
No, but what are you looking to get?
If you want my professional recommendation, I think we should run fiber there and do it properly. But we could beam it over there too.
Right,
We can
point
point to point.
to point, will go up to 10 gig.
We can go point to point.
Mark, don't you have a desire to utilize the outdoor classroom?
currently this time of school year, we're sending, like, our biology class is going out tomorrow, honors biology is going out tomorrow to do some work at the pond, at the outdoor classroom. So they're going out there, they're gathering their data on paper and they're just bringing it back in and uploading their data. It'd be nice if we had the internet capacity outside where they could take their Chromebooks out, put that in, do all their field work outside, and then skip that additional step. Well, I don't wanna say that additional time, but you're skipping an additional step. That's more time that you spend on education, on gathering results. So, we're fortunate to have the acreage and the surroundings we do. Sometimes easier, we're allowed to use it, able to use it, but based on the weather, it'd be nice to have that capability to get out there and do that.
All right, lastly, I just wanted to let you guys know the numbers, the tickets, so you see some statistics, we've had 510 tickets since the start of the school year. Our average response time for a first touch saying, hey, to sign in for someone is about 3 hours and 19 minutes. Our resolution time is 2 hours, or 2 days and 2 hours. So keep in mind, this is everything from, can you reset my password, to dealing with, wiring or cabling or everything in between. Any questions? Thank you.
No. Okay. Do we have any administrator supervisor reports, Ms. Conrad?
October is very good, one of the things next week is the team report, which is, also tied to PIMS, and I think student-specific, report that, collects the cost by students, individual students, and then they're assigned, an indicator for PIMS based on that level. Direct result, or direct, second to or something, so that's a big one. Thankfully, we don't have a whole lot of track, but that's a big one. I'll take some time to see next planning. Auditors arrived on Monday, we closed up last year, so, they should finish up on Friday, and I'm hoping to have a report next week.
Mr. Rich, do you have any administrative reports?
No.
Next week, we'll look at the information reports for the Board of Directors, which entails elementary enrollment, total enrollment, elementary activity accounts, board summary reports, student activity reports, middle high school enrollment. Item number 5, do we have any questions or comments from the floor relative to agenda items? Okay. Next week, we will be approving the board minutes for October 5th for the September 14th meeting. We'll also be approving the treasurer's report. Mr. Hammerschmidt?
Yes, we'll be, reviewing and approving the Treasury report for September 2022. Also, the investment report, we'll be, looking at that. And then we'll be reviewing and approving the list of general fund bills. Also, the list of food services fund bills next week. Thank you.
On the food services bill, I saw something from the state where they're gonna start doing a breakfast program, free breakfast program for the kids. Starting Monday? Okay, and that's something the district's taking advantage of? Okay, just want to make sure. Do the parents and the kids know? Have we notified them?
Yes.
Kim's in the back going, yeah, Jim. Sorry, I have to ask.
Is that all students? Okay.
It's posted on the website. We also sent out, email blasts.
Okay, perfect.
And it's been all over the news as well.
I know, but sometimes people's work schedules and everything,
Right, yeah,
kids.
we tried it, but there's no one's being charged for the time for it.
Okay, good.
Terry made sure all of the, things are correct.
Okay, perfect. Item 9 for next week, personnel.
Item A is retirement resignations. Approve the following resignation of Nicole Scott, 8th grade travel club co-advisor. Any questions on A?
Do we still have any 8th grade travel club advisors?
I should go on.
Oh, it's,
Item B.
Oh, okay.
Item,
Good.
Item B, junior class advisor, approve Jessica Miles as junior class advisor for the 22-23 school year at a rate of $1,000 as established by the CBA. Any questions on item B? Item C, Future Business Leaders of America, approve Steve Skirbeth as FBLA co-advisor for the 22-23 school year at the rate of $575 as established by collective bargaining agreement. Any questions on
Just a comment. This is the same person that told everybody to quit all these jobs. Right? Yeah.
Item D, 8th grade trip co-advisor. You say, Mark, we have a name for the 8th grade.
We have one person in class so far.
Okay, we will have that next Wednesday. Item E, leave of absence, approve the intermediate FMLA leave of absence for Paula Lennox beginning August 23rd, 2022, and concluding upon exhaustion of available leave, which is 60 days. Any questions on item E? How does that leave us in the library? We have everything, whatever sheet. Oh, it's just off and on, okay, intermittent. Item F, leave of absence. It is a I missed one.
Nope, you got it. LA, from Ms. Gardner.
Mr. Gardner. Absence for Jesse Gardner beginning September 21st, 2022, and concluding upon exhaustion of the available leave, which is 60 days. Any questions on H? Item G, transfer of 6 days. Approve the transfer of 56.56 days for Jason Burks from his former district, exceeds 25-day maximum established by school code. 31 1/2 sick days are available for use, but are not to be considered for compensation at resignation retirement. Any questions? H, professional development workshops. I'm not going to read all those. You can look them over. Are there any questions on any of the workshops?
No, but just so the board knows, if there's a virtual option, we still are capitalizing upon that. But as you can imagine, as we emerge from the pandemic, more and more of these are on site.
Yeah. Question, what's Steel Science Standards?
We deal with, that's their acronym for the new science, next generation science.
Okay, so it's not part of STEM?
No, so basically what they're doing is, they're infusing engineering and technology into science standards from K to 8.
Oh, okay.
So it's taking it from the standalone into the science, FAQ layers, lessons, but a lesson used to take a day, they're gonna take like a week to a week and a half.
Okay.
So, more hands-on. We all had Nokia flip phones when the original science standards were written. So,
Maybe you did.
Any questions on page? Item I, additions to volunteer listing, approve the attached list of additions to the volunteer and non-instructional substitute listing for the 22-23 school year pending receipt of required documents and grants. Any questions on that?
Item 10.
Yeah, the whole.
Yep, now we'll go back to item 10, board actions committee as a whole. Next week, we'll be approving independent swimmers, Sydney Alfera and Michael Avery to compete as independent swimmers representing a little school district in the 22-23 school year. Anna Alfera and Jill Avery will be recognized as the coaches. Cost of the district will be transportation. No, all costs and transportation will be the parents' responsibility. Sorry about that. Item B, policy first reading. Approve the first reading of the attached policy 805.2, school security personnel, and 913, non-school organizations, groups, individuals. We'll also be approving a bid acceptance for repository property. Accept bid number 5 for $500 to purchase property from Lawrence County Repository from Bill Cunningham Gaslight Sales to purchase parcel number 22-901853, located at 575 Continental Lane, Hickory Township. Any questions about that?
What is that? Where is that?
I'm trying to think.
Gaslight.
That's on the
Gaslight, in the
backside?
back.
Yeah, it's okay. Approved field trips. So the following field trips: 4th grade to Lawrence County Fairgrounds on September 28th for the Ag Encounters. And band and music classes to Slippery Rock University on October 26th for a college visit, class observation, financial aid meeting, and a college music ensemble observation at a cost of the district for transportation. Item number 11, any new business. So does anyone have any new business outside the agenda items they would like to discuss? Parents?
I would like to make a comment.
Yeah.
I'm with the cheerleading program this year. I'm aware of what the attendance of the head coach has been. Very rare, hardly at all. Up to this point of the season, they've had very little instruction. Some of the assistants and other coaches have been there, but without a head coach and the routines and the music, their season's basically going to the wayside. And I think concern at the time of the essence is whether they even have much of a season to be competitive at these competitions. And that's really all I just want to speak. He's aware of what. It's something that every day that goes by, is a concern. So that's really all that.
I think it is at the board level. I think the administration needs to facilitate a meeting of athletic administration, parents / boosters, and get the program on the same page.
I do know that you approved volunteers, I think I don't know how long ago, but I think this was his first week, and I do think he has a lot of positive things to bring in that the girls seem to be responding. So I think he does have the good to get them caught up, but if the leadership is blocking it, because it doesn't make sense, so.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any other?
My name is Sharon Donaldson, and I'm here regarding an incident that happened on our football game. He likes to take his shirt off and paint his chest to show some spirit. And the superintendent of the school was heard yelling to him, "Next time you want to come to a game and take your shirt off, you should be in shape." Now, he didn't just say that to him, he said that to one of his other friends. And I thought this was a anti-bullying school. So he comes home, he was very upset.
So the comment's not defendable. And let me convey to you and to the public as a whole that what I said was inappropriate, and I extend a public apology to you, to your son, to anyone else who I may have offended, and to the Laurel community at large. My actions were beneath this position and not in line with the values of the community. And I'd be happy to repeat that to you and him at a meeting of our own. I'm sorry.
They're outside right now.
Okay. So I'd be welcome to meet with them after, if you want to.
I'll do what they want, but, you know, they're very upset. He did it the first time. He come home, he said, "Best game I ever went to, he loved it." And he said, "Can I do it again?" I said, "Tucker, it's getting cold." He wanted to do it now. Now he's upset.
I'm not going to defend what I did. It's indefensible. I'd be happy to meet with you and your son.
I had a message from my dad. He was very upset. Well, he was very proud of the volleyball girl that knocked off the Shannon last night. It came out of nowhere. We didn't expect to win. And as you know, my father, the proud grandfather, opens up the paper and there was nothing about it. And
that reflects on the coach. Because it's, all it says was that Laurel beat Shannon, and there was no further data from each side. So I'm coming with a message from my father, how disappointed he was, you know, because, you know, anytime it's Shannon or Shenango and there's all this hoopla, he was very disappointed, so. Reason that.
I think the most I saw online was from Lawrence County Sportsnet, that they had like the players of the game, and they were in the news.
We can,
He's very happy with the teachers that they had to get rid of.
That's good. That's good.
Well, I have nothing good to say about the Newcastle news, so I can't defend them.
yeah. But we can ask. Any additional questions? Okay. I'll call this meeting to adjourn. Thank you very much, everyone, for coming.